What's going on, you guys? I want to show you in this video what you can do to create a Path of Exile character and just go over some very basic functions and things you should know about when you're getting into the game. So with the videos, information that you're going to gain today, you should have an idea how to just play Path of Exile and enjoy your time and kind of have an idea what's up, because oftentimes you'll hear it's just so much, there's so much to it. And that's true, but it's the so much to it that I think you're actually going to love. It's what makes the game so good after all this time. So when you fire up the game, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to click on Create, okay? And then you're going to choose whatever you want to play. You're going to have, here, I'll show you. You're going to have the Standard League, which is like Diablo 4's Eternal Realm, or you're going to have the current League or Season. Season and League is the same thing when you're talking about Path of Exile, or like another game like a Diablo series ARPG. In Diablo, we have seasons, the Season of Blood, right? The Season of the Malignant. In Path of Exile, you've got the Season of Harvest, or the Season of Affliction. In this case, the League of Affliction, okay? So let's check this out. I'm going to click on Affliction, and then you have options. You could choose Solo Self-Found, which tells you this optional mode disables trade and party play for this character. You can convert it back to a regular character at any time. You could also choose Ruthless, which is a significantly different game experience with extreme item scarcity, among other changes. For full information, and they tell you to go to a website. So Ruthless is like playing hard mode, like you're not going to get many upgrades, you're not going to see much crafting materials, things like that, and that's on purpose. So that's for like seasons players or people that really want to challenge, is what I would imagine. So let's check this out. For the example, I'm going to make an Affliction character, not hardcore, not eternal or standard, but actually Affliction. And this person's not going to be in Solo Self-Found or Ruthless. I hit OK. I'm going to choose like a bow character, okay? So Barricade bow, right? Barricade bow is made, and I hit OK. And everybody starts off on the beach. We all start here, okay? So our character's kind of on their back, looking up at the sky. I'm going to skip tutorials because I'm kind of giving you one now. And then I'll click somewhere to like get up off the beach, right? I'm going to mouse wheel up to zoom in. And right away, you'll notice I've got this default attack, okay? Strike your foes down with a powerful blow. In Path of Exile, you just have a regular attack when you start the game. So I'm going to pick up the crude bow. And let's talk about the crude bow for a second. You'll notice my attack didn't change. If I press I to open up my inventory, I've got 2 small life flasks, and I also have a small mana flask. And now, on my UI, look at the bottom right there, right? My default attack can be set to anything, left click, middle mouse button, or right. To do that, I simply just click on the box or the key assignment that I want that action to be performed on, okay? So if I want it to be move only on left click, so my character just kind of moves around, I'll set that. So left click, move only. Awesome. And now my attack will go on right click, and I'll take this off. I can clear the slot by clicking that little X, right? So clear the slot, right click, I'll assign default attack to right click. Okay, great. And now I've equipped my crude bow that I found on the beach, and I'm ready to go. And we'll talk about what the sockets or the circles are in just a minute. So I've got this dying exile. I talk to this guy, right? He tells me some story, and bang, hungry corpse is eating his face, and it's go time, right? So I'm going to use my default attack to shoot. And he drops this thing that looks like something I've never seen before called Burning Arrow. What is that? So Burning Arrow is a skill in Path of Exile. Skills are typically diamond shapes, and there's other kinds we're going to find out later that are a different shape, and we'll get to that when we get there. So the way Path of Exile works is this. You've got circles or sockets in the game that you add your skills to, and it doesn't matter what slot your skills go into, as long as it's got that green assignment, green circle, green skill, I can add it in. Now when I do that, have a look at the bottom right. It suddenly added Burning Arrow to my middle mouse, the first available key binding assignment. But I'm not comfortable with that. I want that to go on Q. So what do? I click where the Q would be, and I assign Burning Arrow. Okay? And to keep my UI clean, I'm going to go ahead and click on middle mouse, and then just clear that slot. So I got this skill called Burning Arrow. Now I have default attack. I still get to keep that, and I have Burning Arrow. And I got Burning Arrow because I assigned it by putting it inside of one of the circles in my gear. It's that simple, right? When I take it out, the skill's gone. When I put it back in, bang, there we go. And I've assigned it to Q. Game remembers that. So what does Burning Arrow even do? It now adds fire damage to attacks against ignited enemies. So, what the hell does ignite mean, right? Well, if I press Alt, it might even tell me. Oh, it does. In gray, right? Ignite deals fire damage over time based on the base fire damage of the skill, or for 4 seconds. So, basically, I'm going to fire an arrow that's on fire. Fantastic. Let's try that out, okay? So, away we go, right? We're strutting along, looking real nice. We got these dudes all over the place. Bang. What happens? Burning Arrow goes out. Okay, I can see he's on fire now. You see he's igniting. Guy's just burning. Okay, and he actually got chopped in half, which is pretty cool. Didn't know arrows could do that. Path of Exile, they sure can. So let's continue, right? We've got some more dudes on the beach. You got these sand spiders, and we're just going forward. You got this map up here, and you can press tab to have a map overlay, which is also nice. Now, I've set mine to look like this because I don't want to have a whole bunch of extra stuff, and this is how I like the game to look, but we can adjust that later. Let's keep talking about itemization, though, right? So we're going to keep moving on. Life is good. We're going to find this box up here called a large chest. Okay, this is where the game gets kind of cool. So I click on the large chest, and I get this thing called momentum support. I don't really know what that does. So I press I to open my inventory. Now let's check this out for a second. That looks different. Let me kill these guys so they don't interfere with the video and the explanation here. So default attack rate, bang, bang, bang. They're all dead. Burning arrow, sets them on fire. Love to see it. Real quick. So I have momentum support, okay? And if you mouse over it, look at the menu that kind of popped up. It says supportable skills, burning arrow. So what does it mean to support? Well, just like in Diablo 4, remember that skill tree where you might have like your rogue, where you have your core skills, and as an example, you've got twisting blades, and you have enhanced twisting blades, and you could further enhance it with one of those selections that you have in that skill tree. Well, Path of Exile is kind of like that too. So if you played a game like Diablo before, or Diablo 4 previously, this would kind of act in a similar way, but you can do it anywhere you want. So let me show you this, right? I have Burning Arrow. That's our attack. I can support it with any of these support circular style skills. So what does it do? I get momentum while channeling a supported skill, which we're not really channeling, we're shooting, right? We're shooting a bow. But what else happens, right? We lose all momentum skills if we move. Okay, so far I don't really get momentum, but if I move, I lose them. Got it. Supported skills have 15% increased attack speed per momentum. Oh, okay. So the more I shoot, the more momentum I get, and then I get increased, what's it say? Attack speed. Fantastic. But when I reach 3 momentum, I lose it all. And then I get swiftness. Well, what's swiftness? It gives me 15% increased movement speed. There's a lot of reading here, but that's okay because it's cool. It's the stuff that you like. So here's how Path of Exile works with skills and support skills. Have a look at that crude bow again. I have 2 green circles or 2 green sockets. And do you see that golden line there? That tells me that they are linked or they're fused together. So now that I have Burning Arrow, I'm going to support it by adding in a support gem again. Skills are like diamond shape, right? And they're always kind of usually slanted. And then support skills are circular, okay? So I put a circular skill in this way, and then I put my skill in this way, and you'll notice I did it backwards. To show you the point, it doesn't matter the order as long as they're connected. As long as they're connected, the sequence doesn't matter. Cool. So now I have momentum on my Burning Arrow. So what happens? You're going to zoom in. And let's look at the top left, just above this bald head, right? I'm going to press Q, and I fire Burning Arrow. Look at that. I have a momentum stack, okay? So I shoot again, right? And now I have increased attack speed. But remember what happens. When that goes to 3, I'm going to move faster. So watch the character's feet. Green. And then they move. And then boom, it goes away. And now I'm kind of slow again because I'm using the momentum support skill on my Burning Arrow skill. So as long as I'm using Burning Arrow, it now gains momentum. So let's see how that feels when I actually play the game, right? So we kind of navigate along, looking really good. Bang. You got these sand spitter, right? Bang. Shot in the face, shot in the face, shot in the face, shot in the back. And we're bringing them into town. Just there it is, right? And we're using momentum. You see how it kind of goes? That's it. That's all that Path of Exile is with regards to skills and support skills. You're trying to find items that allow you to support the power that you want to use as much as you possibly can. And so as you play Path of Exile, you're going to find out that some weapons or bows have up to 6 links. You may have heard that term before, 6 link. What they're saying is there's 6 circles on that item, and you could have that item being a skill, right? And in my case, I play a Righteous Fire character, and I'll show you that character now. So this is my current Affliction League character following a Pox guide for the Righteous Fire character. Now, I don't want to get too crazy, and if you look, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Like it's very overwhelming, but let me get you to just relax and have a look at what's actually going on. Remember that crude bow? Well, this item isn't really all that different than the crude bow. I'm going to take it off my character, put it in my inventory, and I'm going to unlink all of the things. But I'm going to put it in a certain order here to make it easy for you to kind of follow along and understand what's up. So do you remember how we had that Burning Arrow before? Well, let's assume in this example that Burning Arrow is actually Righteous Fire. Same kind of thing. But what this skill does is it ignites myself on fire, and it puts me down to 1 HP as I die. Like I'm going to start killing myself. My HP, my life pool would go down tremendously if I just had this on. So I'm burning, but everything in this circle is going to burn too. So if I toss Righteous Fire on and I enable it, let me have a look-see, put it in my chest, right? Watch. This big red fire goes on, this big red circle. Anything in that circle is going to be affected by Righteous Fire and subsequently die until, like, it's going to burn until it dies, right? Going to burn to death, basically. So I have Righteous Fire, or you had Burning Arrow in our example. Now, in my 6 linked item called Etula's Hunger, which just happens to be a unique Majestic plate, I'm going to put in Righteous Fire, okay? And you'll notice the next color socket is red. And red sockets support red skills, whether they're support skills or not. Remember, support skills are usually circular. Awesome. So the next one I'm going to put in there is something called Life Tap support. So instead of spending my mana on spells, I use my life pool. So I toss that in there. That's how I want to link it. That's So I want to 6 link it. See that golden line connecting all these different color sockets? Awesome. So the next one's blue. So if I try to put a red socket in there, see how it kind of grays out? Notice this. I click on the red, and I can't put it in the blue socket. That's because red sockets can't go into things that are not red sockets. That's simple, right? Your color skills correlate with the socket on the item. So what's the next one? Blue. Let's put a blue one in there. This one. Great, right? Now I've got area of effect support. You notice? Look at the ring size. The ring changes. I put that in there so I get to hit things in a larger circle so they're not close to my character and die faster. Awesome. What's the next one? Let's see. Toss it in. I've got Awakened Swift Affliction support. Excuse me. Does more damage over time. Awesome. Great. And the next one is Elemental Focus. So they're going to take more elemental damage because while I light myself on fire, that's fire-based damage, okay? And then we go again. What do you got here? Awaken Burning Damage Support. So I do more burning damage. So once I light you on fire, I want you to really sizzle. Now, I'm hurting myself with Righteous Fire, right? But if I hit anybody else in that circle, they're all going to die. Hopefully over time if I do my job, right? So you'll notice all of my decisions are that way. Every blue circle or socket has a blue skill inside. And every red socket has a red skill inside. And that's all that it is. That's all that the basics of socketing in skill application is in Path of Exile. Okay? Now, this is like sort of a bit to take, but I want you to know it. When I go visit Lily Roth, and you get the same thing in Act 6 of Path of Exile, you're going to see that she will sell you all these different skill gems. Now, this might make you feel overwhelmed. I'll actually get to myself here for a second to show you. Now, this is what actually makes Path of Exile so great. You have different skills, different attack skills. And now, on all of page 1, there's different things like ground slam, right? You slam the ground in front of you, creating a wave that travels forward and damages enemies. Okay? Great. The next one would be like cleave. You can cleave things, right? And these are all red skills. Now, red skills are strength-based activities in Path of Exile. Green skills are more like dexterous things, like a burning arrow. Or let's have a look at some extra ones here. You're going to have double strike. Perform 2 attacks, or excuse me, perform 2 fast strikes with a melee weapon. Great. What else do we have over here? There's something else called dual strike. Attack with both weapons, dealing damage of both weapons in 1 strike, and things like that. I've got spectral throw. It throws a copy of your melee weapon. So you can just imagine, with this many different skills, there's going to be some very unique builds or choices you could have. And you could choose whatever you want. It's freedom, player agency just for you. And let's look at the last one, blue. Blue is like intelligence or like mage, intellect skills, sorcerer skills, right? Have a look at this. So fireball unleashes a ball of fire towards the target. What else? Raise zombie, kind of like the necromancers out there. If you like that in Diablo, you may want to try a minion build where you raise zombies or specters or golems and things like that. The game lets you do it. And a couple more examples here. Spark. So it launches unpredictable sparks or like lightning damage that kind of travel along the floor. Freezing pulse, an icy projectile which has a chance to freeze, right? And you get the idea. All this stuff. Now, I'm showing you one of each of the main ones. Again, blue is intelligence or magic. Red is strength-based, heavy hits. And green would be like dynamic dexterity, fast-paced kind of combat, which is cool. And then every one of these, and I'll show you right here, can be supported by another gem. Like you could make your ground slam skill, when you support it with chance to bleed, you would hit the ground, and then when you hit it, it has a chance to be bleeding the target at the end. And it's sort of like you're telling a story with this skill on the character you want to use, okay? And there's a lot of choices. And so let's break out of the game for a second and have a bigger conversation of like, when there's so many choices, what's the right choice? Or how do you even tell someone where to go here? Like, with all this information, what do? You relax. And here's what you do. I recommend, this is what I did for the start of this season. It's what I recommend you do too. Go to YouTube. I'll bring up YouTube right here, okay? And you look up Path of Exile and then the current version of the league or the game, 3.2.3 League Starter. And there's many content creators over here that are going to produce content for you to look at. Top 5 builds, top 13, top 7, right? Only the bangers, right? That's so good. And some of these thumbnails are absolutely killer. So big shout out to anybody out there making content for people like myself who started this league back in again and anybody else. So I've got 2,700 hours in Path of Exile. That's not very much compared to others, but I know how to play this game and I know how to help you play this game too. And this video is just talking about sockets and skills for your gear. And I want to make more videos like this so maybe you could understand and I could explain it in a way that maybe you could grasp on if you played another game like Diablo or things like that, because I come from Diablo 2. And with that sort of language, I know I could explain it to somebody who is actually trying to learn. So I hope that this video taught you skills, sockets, and fusing or connection, okay? before we go, I should have mentioned this earlier, but if you stuck around, thank you so much. This part's for you, okay? Inside Path of Exile, of course, there's a thing that's going to happen where maybe you had that crude bow and you're looking for more sockets on your gear, or you're trying to connect them, but you didn't know how. In Path of Exile, I've purchased a tab here that allows me to sort all of my items so that it's easier to access. So let's have a look at an item right here called a jeweling orb, okay? It's like a add more sockets to that thing, hopefully. That's what this thing does, right? I want to add more circles or sockets so I can put more gear on there. That's exactly what it says. It says reforges the number of sockets on an item, okay? And from a new player perspective, that's all that I want you to try and do. You can use your jeweler's orbs to add more sockets. You might remove some, or you could actually add more. In addition, how do you connect them? Right beside it is going to be something called a fusing orb. It tries to reforge the links between sockets on an item. So do I have one here that I can show you? Let me see. I'm going to do a technique here. Don't worry so much about this. I'm going to go to my crafting bench just briefly. I'm going to type in the word socket, okay? So I'm going to set this 4-socketed item down to 2 sockets, okay? Perfect. And this is called a crafting bench. Once you get your hideout in Path of Exile, you can add more sockets to things using your crafting bench if you want to, or you can just roll the dice and try to make it happen yourself. So I'm going to click on my stash. I'm going to go back to my currency tab that I purchased. You wouldn't have this unless you purchased it from the store, okay? And so I'm going to click on here. I'll show you. I'm going to click on my jeweling orb, and I'm just going to click on it once. And look at that. I lost my socket. Now, if I click on the jeweler's orbs and I hold shift, now I can click on it as many times as I want. And there you go. I got 3. If I go again, I got 1. It's sort of random, right? It's sort of random like this. I got 3. Okay, so now I'm happy with 3. But how do I connect them? I'll show you right here, right? I click on the fusing orb, and then I just right-click, and I hold shift. And there, I lost the connection there, but I have a connection between the 2 red sockets. And now, bang, I got all 3. And now I can actually make my... Let's do it. This is what you might actually do, right? Here, I'll get rid of myself. So here, I'll show you. I just got the helmet. Great. So I'm going to go purchase a new skill called Ground Slam, right? I'm going to buy Ground Slam. I'm then going to give it that chance to bleed support that we talked about. That's pretty cool. What's another supported skill? Let me see here. Elemental Proliferation. Nah, Infused Channeling. Now, we don't do that. Add lightning damage. Hey, that sounds good. So now I'm going to hit the ground with Ground Slam. I'm then going to give them a chance to bleed whenever I Ground Slam them. And I'm going to add lightning damage to that attack. So I'm going to put that helmet on for a second, okay? And look at that. Down here, I got Ground Slam. So that's pretty cool. Let's go give that a shot, okay? I'm going to log out for a second because I just kill it with Righteous Fire anyway. Let's log back in and show you what a chance to bleed Ground Slam might look like if I can use it. Can I even use Ground Slam? Does Ground Slam require a certain weapon? Let me see. Doesn't say so. Okay, let's see what happens here. I'm going to go to part 1 here. Sounds good. Go to the coast. And can I Ground Slam with my Opal Scepter? That'd be cool if I could. Bang, there it is. There's Ground Slam. Have a look at that, right? Amazing. Smacking the ground, looking good. So if I hit anything, they're gonna bleed. And they're gonna have lightning damage too, because I made that happen. So let's keep going, right? Things are all good. I got some skitter bots. These are some of the things I got. I got my tiger from hanging out in Twitch, which is pretty cool. Here we go. Bang, hit these guys. Slap. Look at that. Absolutely dominated these guys on the beach. This is our beach. And we're here to stay. You understand? Good stuff. I love Ground Slam. I love Path of Exile. If this video helped somebody learn a little bit more of the basics, I'm glad I made it. You can expect more videos like this. I'm live on Twitch 4 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern time until whenever we stop. And I love hanging out with you guys. And I hope here on YouTube this video helps you guys out. Share it around or not. Thumbs up or thumbs down if you didn't like it. But leave a comment below if this helped you kind of just realize it's that simple to just get started, okay? Remember, you go to YouTube, you find a build that you want to try, and just listen to what they're telling you, okay? And every build should have a guide associated with it. So come on back over here. All of these should have a link to get you going to start your adventure. Don't go out there without a build guide. It just makes it really, really difficult, okay? And we're going to talk about the skill tree in the next video. And we're going to get like even deeper into the content as we go, but we're going to cover that nasty, dominant, or daunting, right? Intimidating skill tree that's really not all that different than a Paragon board or any skill tree in any other ARPG. I'm sorry this video wasn't any shorter, but I want to make sure you know how easy it can be. Much love from me to you. Happy holidays, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.